Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we are taking an in-depth look at excerpts from Seth Godin's recent book, This is Strategy. We want to pull out some really actionable truths that apply to everyone, not just people in the corner office. Because when you hear strategy, right, you probably think of, like, dense jargon, maybe intimidating stuff for CEOs planning years ahead.
Yeah, exactly. 5-year plans and spreadsheets.
Right. But Godin says that very perception is what keeps us stuck. So our mission for you today is to see strategy as something really accessible. It's more like a personal philosophy of becoming, maybe. A choice about who you want to be and the change you want to make. It's a tool for anyone, really, you, who wants to make things better in your work, your life, wherever.
That's such a crucial point. It's often mistaken for a map. Like here's the exact path, A to B.
Right, step by step.
But a map implies certainty and, well, the world just doesn't work like that, does it? Things change. So Godin suggests strategy needs to be more like a compass. It's that hard work, the consistent choice of what you do today. Not just coping, but orienting yourself to make tomorrow genuinely better.
A compass. I like that.
Yeah.
And digging into this, we found it really revolves around 4 interwoven threads: time, games, systems, and empathy.
Those are the levers.
Yeah, the levers we all have. And we're going to unpack these with some pretty surprising examples, actually.
Okay, so let's start with the big choice everyone faces. Are you choosing strategy or are you choosing, well, compliance?
Compliance, the default path.
Yeah, the default. What Godin calls the non-strategy of take what you can get, it's, the path of least resistance.
Just sort of reverting to the day-to-day grind, putting your head down, doing your job as told, waiting for someone else.
Waiting for someone else to choose. That's it. It's easy to fall into.
Okay, let's unpack this choice then. Compliance feels safe, right?
Yeah.
It's comfortable. But choosing it means you're kind of giving up your agency to whatever system you're in. The alternative, the strategic one, is what he calls the elegant path.
Elegance. And it's not about aesthetics here.
No, not about looking pretty. It's about simplicity, efficiency, effectiveness, using leverage, real leverage, to create change.
Like a well-designed tool versus just brute force.
Exactly. Think about, I don't know, a sledgehammer versus a perfectly engineered gearbox. One is just heroic effort.
Which burns you out.
Right. And the other is elegant leverage.
And that's the core idea of systemic advantage. Elegant strategies, they rarely try to fight huge entrenched systems head on. That takes that heroic effort you mentioned, which just isn't sustainable. Most new ideas fail right there.
So what do they do instead?
They find ways to use the existing system's energy as a tool, maybe to change the system itself. Or they build something new alongside it, a different path.
Using the system against itself almost.
In a way, yeah. Systemic advantage, that compounding effect of these smaller, smarter choices, it just beats individual heroic effort over time. Every time.
It's like running faster every day versus building a car.
Exactly. One gets you tired, the other changes the game.
Okay, that's compelling. But if it's so simple and effective, why is it hard? Why do people compromise and fall back?
Because compromise feels like the easy way out in the moment. It's the natural pressure from the old system, right? It wants stability.
The status quo pulling you back.
Precisely.
Yeah.
So these elegant strategies, yeah, they're simple to explain, but sticking to them, that's tough. There are constant little pressures, little compromises that slowly drag you back to just, taking what you can get.
Requires real persistence then.
Absolutely.
Like-
Persistent choice.
Okay, to really feel that pull, that drag, we need to get into the second thread. Systems. You called them unseen gravity earlier, which I thought was great.
Yeah. Well, systems are often unseen, aren't they? And they're persistent, relentless. A successful system sticks around because it's always delivering on some promise.
Even if it's not the official promise.
Oh, especially if it's not the official one. A system designed for, say, efficiency might actually be delivering on a hidden promise of job security for middle management. It works tirelessly to keep things as they are. That's its real function.
That makes me think of Stuart Brand's observation about buildings versus roads.
Oh, yeah, the pace layers, great analogy.
Right. Buildings, the people, the products, the nodes, they change all the time.
Yeah.
Renovated, replaced. But the roads, the rules, conventions, the infrastructure, the system itself, they fight like crazy to stay put.
Tooth and nail.
Changing a road is just fundamentally harder strategically than fixing up a building.
It really is. And that resistance, that's why strategic changes often feel like sabotage is happening, like someone is actively working against you.
Which brings us to that Michelin tire story. The unseen vandal.
Yes. So Michelin rolls out this amazing puncture-proof tire. Safer, better for drivers. Seems like a no-brainer, right? An unstoppable innovation.
Should have flown off the shelves.
You'd think, but the project died quickly. And the vandal wasn't a competitor plotting against them. It wasn't malice.
What was it then?
It was the system,
Yeah.
the resilient industrial complex, specifically the local tire shops, the garages, the key nodes in that system.
They didn't want it.
They didn't want to invest in the new training, the different equipment needed to service this totally new kind of tire. It was too much friction for them.
So the customers couldn't get them serviced easily.
Right. So they stuck with the old standard tires.
Yeah.
The elegant innovation failed because it threatened the stability and added cost for the existing players in the system.
Wow. So working against a system really does feel like someone's out to get you.
It feels personal, but often it's just the system doing its job, maintaining stability for those already established within it.
And that stability, that stickiness, you mentioned it relies on a few powerful things we often miss in our strategy. First, sunk costs.
Right. Definitely. It's hard to let go after you've poured in time, money, emotion.
Yeah, you feel committed. Second, interoperability. Things need to work together.
Nobody wants a new gadget if it means throwing out everything else they own. Like, your phone has to support Bluetooth, doesn't matter the brand. It's table stakes now.
And the third one sounds really powerful, affiliation.
Oh, it's huge. Maybe the most powerful. It's that deep cultural thing. People like us do things like this.
So changing your process, your tools, even your beliefs might mean you're no longer one of us.
And that emotional cost, often way higher than any practical benefit of the change. People will stick with the familiar, even if it's worse, just to belong.
Looking at big systems like digital ones, this pull towards self-interest and stability can, well, it can really warp the original intent, can it?
Absolutely. Think about the internet. It started with these amazing, laudable goals, connection, open information.
Yeah, very idealistic.
But the system adapted. It responded to incentives, primarily self-interest for the dominant players. And it evolved away from those early ideals.
Towards things like surveillance capitalism.
Exactly. That term describes systems built primarily to extract data and profit from user behavior, which isn't necessarily the same as maximizing genuine connection or knowledge sharing.
It wasn't the planned outcome, but it's where the system's incentives led it.
The system evolved to maximize benefits for its most powerful nodes. That's what systems do.
Okay, this makes strategy seem kind of daunting. If the system is that entrenched, how do you even start to make a change? Which I guess brings us to time.
Yes, time. The third thread. If systems are gravity, how does time factor in?
Where does it fit?
While time is both the great enabler and the great resistor, every single successful strategy involves some kind of delay. You have to choose to do something maybe unfun, or at least unobvious, now.
To get the result you want later.
Exactly. And that requires a huge amount of trust. Trust in the future, trust in the process, trust in the promise.
Which connects directly to how people make choices, especially under stress. Like the marshmallow test.
Ah, the classic.
We usually praise the kids who wait, right? Call it self-control. But Godin flips that.
He does. He points out, what if a child grows up with broken promises? If the adult doesn't usually bring that second marshmallow.
Then grabbing the one you see now isn't a lack of control.
It's smart. It's a rational survival strategy born out of distrust. Take what you can get becomes the logical choice in an unreliable system.
And that distrust maps directly onto why people or organizations resist strategic investments in the future.
Perfect analogy. They don't trust the promise of the bonus or the growth or the later success because the system they're in now has let them down before. Why believe this time will be different?
So this tension, present versus future, is heavily influenced by the game aspect specifically, the game of status.
Oh, absolutely. Status is critical. Systems use it constantly to maintain their balance.
Yeah.
The established order defends its turf, its resources.
And resources include expertise, position, history.
All of it. A fantastic example is the old ban on recumbent bicycles.
Wait, they banned a bicycle?
Seriously?
Seriously? Back in the day. The recumbent bike was, well, objectively better on many counts, faster, safer, more comfortable due to aerodynamics and how you sat.
Sounds like a winner.
But the high-status folks, the traditional cyclists, they hated it. They jeered at it.
Why?
Because it threatened the hierarchy. They eventually got it banned from official races. It was seen as a technical hack. Imagine these champions had invested years honing their skills, their bodies, using traditional bikes.
Huge sunk costs in skill and equipment.
Exactly. If some newcomer could suddenly beat them just by using this different bike, their hard-earned status just evaporates.
That is fascinating. So the game of status literally trumped function. People preferred painful surgery because traditional cycling could be tough on the body rather than switch to a better bike just to maintain status and affiliation.
Incredible, isn't it? The strategy wasn't about building a better bike for everyone. It was about protecting the current system and the status of those who were winning in it. Okay, so if the system fights back using status, and like 97% of people reject new ideas just because they're new, how does anything ever change or spread?
Yeah, it seems impossible sometimes. But the key is you don't waste your energy trying to convert the masses or the skeptics who are comfortable. That's a losing battle.
So where do you focus?
Successful change, the elegant strategic choice, focuses intensely on the smallest viable audience, SVA.
The SVA.
These are your early adopters, the passionate few. They're eager for new things. They often gain status by being the first ones on board. They're the ones who will carry the idea forward horizontally to their peers.
That requires a totally different mindset for anyone trying to market something, an idea, or a product.
Completely. Forget aggressive, shout louder marketing trying to reach everyone. The strategic approach is about building scaffolding.
Like scaffolding, like for a building.
Kind of. It's not the final product itself or the ads. It's the infrastructure. The culture, the tools, the shared belief system that makes it easy for the people who already want to go where you're going to join in.
You're creating the conditions for them.
Exactly. It's the setup for horizontal person-to-person change.
We see this play out brilliantly with the Savannah Vadana's baseball team story.
Oh, great example. Jesse Cole.
Yeah, the founder. He was totally constrained by the existing rules and systems of minor league baseball. He knew he couldn't win that traditional game. The system wasn't built for him.
So he changed the game.
Completely. His strategic choice was to pivot. He made decisions that freed the team by focusing 100% on entertainment, creating a whole new system, a new game where the rules maximize fun and surprise.
Finding a new path.
He multiplied his options way beyond just baseball by deciding to change the system for his audience, show by show, fan by fan.
That's a perfect demonstration of awareness, seeing the system and then making a choice.
Okay, so after seeing all these forces, time, systems, games, empathy, interacting, Godin offers a pretty clear strategic blueprint framework, like steps for execution.
Yeah, but before you even get to the blueprint steps, there are 3 crucial questions you have to answer first. They define your whole strategic space.
What are they?
Who is it for? What is it for? And what is the system? Skip those, and you're basically just doing random tasks, not strategy.
Got it. Foundation first, then the blueprint checkpoints.
Right. Once you have that base, there are 5 checkpoints. 1, awareness. Really see the system, its rules, the hidden stuff like time and scarcity.
2, empathy. Understand the people involved, their worldview, self-interest, their power to choose.
3, acknowledge choices are available. We nearly always have more agency, more choices than we admit to ourselves.
4, accept that uncertainty is a feature, not some bug you need to eliminate. You can't predict everything.
And 5, build in resilience. Because
Sure.
your plans will change. Things will happen. You need to be able to adapt.
Okay, that's a solid framework. Now, before we wrap up, there's a critical point about how change happens. Community action over individual effort.
Yes. This is so important. Why is community action the strategic way forward rather than just telling individuals to, behave better?
Like just recycle more or don't smoke.
Exactly. There's this enduring myth that big societal problems get solved if only millions of individuals exercise more self-control.
Yeah.
If everyone just decided to compost or quit smoking or buy an EV, problem solved.
But that's not usually how it works historically, is it?
Not really. Big shifts, like reducing smoking rates dramatically, didn't happen just because millions suddenly found willpower. They happened because the community coordinated action to change the rules.
Setting standards, building systemic guardrails.
Exactly. Things that made the old way harder or obsolete. Individual willpower fades, system changes persist. That's the strategic leverage.
Which brings us right to the biggest systemic challenge we face: climate change. If we use this strategic lens, it looks like a classic case of market failure driven by externalities.
Precisely. An externality is just a cost that's imposed on society, but the buyer and seller in a transaction don't actually pay for it. Right. Like someone buys jet fuel. They pay for drilling, refining, but not the true cost of the carbon pollution dumped into the atmosphere.
And everyone else, especially future generations, ends up footing that bill,
Yep.
subsidizing that flight. The market price is wrong. It's
Mhm.
miscalibrated.
So if you want an elegant, systemic solution, you don't fight the market.
You use its engine. This is where Godin's thinking gets really interesting. He argues the systemic solution is straightforward community action.
Which is?
Charge a fair price for carbon, make the price reflect the actual cost, the externality, and then this is the elegant part, give that money, the surcharge, back to citizens, maybe as a carbon dividend.
So it's revenue neutral for the average person.
Potentially, yes.
Yeah.
The point is, you don't need people to fundamentally change what they want. Convenience, status, profit, you just change the math.
Because carbon now has a real cost attached.
The market, that incredibly powerful, profit-seeking, competitive engine we already have, automatically starts finding the lowest carbon ways to deliver what people want. It pivots. That is an elegant solution, using the system's own drive to fix what its miscalibration broke.
Right.
Leverage, not just heroic effort or guilt.
Exactly.
So the power to create this kind of impact, it really is already yours, already ours. But it demands choosing that harder, maybe slower, elegant path over just complying with the default
It requires seeing the system clearly.
and making that persistent choice day after day, week after week.
That's the real journey of strategy. The change we want to make, it happens over time, persistently, person by person, decision by decision. It's not one big event. It's a continuous process demanding patience and, yeah, organization. So go make a ruckus.
Go make a ruckus. I love that. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into becoming a better strategist. We'll see you next time.